If you're using the Glas-Avenue credit card module and need to do a refund back to a customer for a partial amount, you'll need to follow these steps. First, you'll need to recall the invoice that you wish to credit. You'll need to make sure that it's an invoice and not a work order, as you can't do a credit on a work order. Next, we'll need to go to the Payments tab. We'll need this return reference number over here to the right, so you'll need to write that down because you'll need it in the next step when we're creating the credit. Because Main Street does not save the credit card information anywhere in the database, you'll also need to either have the credit card there to be able to swipe it, or you'll need all of the credit card information again to be able to put it in manually. So if you don't have that, you'll want to get that first before proceeding. Once you have that information, we'll go ahead and start our credit. Now let's say, for instance, in this example, we just overcharged a little bit and we want to credit back the amount that we overcharged. We'll go ahead and choose POS, Credit Rebill, and then here we're going to choose a partial credit to an existing invoice. Now in doing credits, you'll normally only want to use option 2, a full credit to an invoice, or 3, a partial credit to an invoice. There may be certain times when you would use option 1 or 4, but those are fairly rare, and you may need to call Main Street for assistance if you think that that's what you need to do. Choose the next option. We're not going to issue a check, so we'll say no. Here we'll go ahead and choose a reason. Type in our reason here and hit finish and confirm. Now we're doing a partial credit. Now we need to change this invoice so that it reflects the amount that we want to refund back to the customer. So in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and just remove the items and then just put in refund. And then I'm going to put in my amount that I'm going to refund him. Now we can put it in material or labor. I don't want to have to deal with figuring out sales tax, so I'm just going to put the amount in labor, and let's say we're going to refund him $10. Now we need to go to our Payments tab. We need to delete the payment that's in there currently because it copied over our original payment and just made it a negative. Once we delete that payment amount, then we're going to put in the balance that we need to put in. Now you can see here my balance is a positive $10, and that's because what we need to do here is in the quantity we need to make it a negative one so that our balance is a negative amount. So make sure you have that. Now in our amount we need to put in negative $10, and we need to pick the correct payment type. Now we'll need to go into the authorization section. Here we'll type in our return reference number that we wrote down in the first step. Once we have that, we're going to need to pick the correct type, a void or a credit. Now, if the original payment was taken today and has not gone through a settlement yet at the end of the day, then we need to do it as a void. If the payment was on a previous day and has already gone through the settlement, we're going to do it as a credit. The one caveat here is, when we do a void, it's going to avoid the entire amount that we originally billed. So in this case, I couldn't just do $10 because I had billed this on the same day. So in that case, we'd have to actually do a full credit out the entire invoice, and then redo the invoice for the correct amount and rerun the card for the correct amount. In most situations, your payment will have probably already been through a settlement and you'll choose a credit. We'll assume here that we're doing it as a credit and just doing it for the $10 for the sake of our example. At this point, we would then either choose a manual no swipe and fill in the credit card information, or we'll swipe the card. I'm going to go ahead and swipe the card, and then we get our approval and we choose OK. And that's how you would do a partial credit. So again, just keep in mind, if the payment that you're giving a refund on was done that same day, you're going to have to do a full credit and then redo the invoice. If you haven't saved the ticket as an invoice yet, we might be able to do it without doing a credit, but if that's the case, I would recommend that you contact Main Street's technical support to have them walk you through it.